Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Hey, it's Hump Day! Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tyvis in the house.
Yes.
What are you wearing today? Footwear,
today I went with a little Pharrell Williams, some human races today.
All right,
decided to put
nice.
the Jordans down, give it a little rest.
Those
this
are
week.
nice. Those are very nice.
I tell you what, out of all my shoes, these probably the most comfortable.
Yeah, them is crazy.
Yeah, they look it.
I'm
They look
big,
like foot slippers.
I'm big into Asian fashion, but Asian sizes don't come in this type of fashion.
You don't get them that big?
Nah, but
What's your shoe size?
I got the 15s on. I got the Yeezys on today. By the way, y'all can cancel him on the regular stuff. We cool with that. But you still can't cancel his kicks. He still got some fire
I've
kicks.
heard that from a lot of people.
Look,
Cancel them all you want. I'm still wearing his stuff.
I got like 5-6 pairs of Yeezys. I paid money for them.
Them boys,
You're wearing them.
you got to cut your arm off to get
It's
them.
still in big demand, too,
Yeah.
all of it.
I thought like, maybe it would drop in price.
No, they done went up.
They went up.
They done went up.
Because now that production is going to be an issue.
Man.
Hey, Bull, I don't know how I got my wires crossed. For some reason, I thought we finally got you back today. Is it tomorrow we get you back?
Well, because you nudniks are driving me crazy. I keep yelling and screaming every day, and I'm not healing up this final. I can't get over and I don't want to get anybody else sick just in case. I mean, I'm probably not contagious at this point. But I'm getting so aggravated.
You're testing
that
negative, though, right?
No. The last time I tested was Monday morning, and I was still positive. I actually haven't tested again since.
Okay.
Because Steve and I agreed that I shouldn't come back into the studio until I'm completely symptom-free, and I'm not completely symptom-free because I'm still coughing and I'm still, blowing my nose all the time.
But in general, you feel, I mean, you're not in pain
I feel okay. I'm not in pain. I'm really tired. It's really affecting me, I think. Maybe it's, whatever. Might be diet too, but I'm feeling really tired, so I'm not sure if that's COVID related or not. I'm just kind of worn down.
I'm wondering, just a shot in the dark here. RSV is going around.
Yeah, that is.
I had it, and I got to tell you, I've never been so exhausted, Bull. I mean, halfway through my day, I feel like I could lay down and take a 3-hour nap. And I know a lot of people that have it. So maybe you've got
it's
a combo.
possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It is certainly possible because the weird thing was my son was sick first, and he was testing negative for COVID. We don't know what he had.
He may have had
but
RSV.
He might have had RSV. He was testing negative for COVID, negative.
Right.
Then my wife caught whatever he had. She was testing negative. So I finally started feeling some symptoms like the last Friday I was in studio that afternoon. I started feeling some symptoms, and I tested, and I was negative. So I'm like, okay. But then Sunday, I finally tested positive 2 Sundays ago.
Yeah.
And then since then, my wife tested positive, and I did. So it's possible we've been past, even though we were wearing masks in the house and distancing as best as we could, we're still in the house together. So maybe we all had both of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I
think
just
it's possible.
can't pick the end of it.
Our senior medical correspondent at Channel 3, Monica Robbins, I talk with her all the time about this kind of stuff, both on the air and off. And she was saying that it's kind of a triple threat this year. It's really 4. So COVID is always, a possibility. The flu, RSV, and what was the other one? I thought she said maybe it was just those 3. COVID. The flu, and RSV.
No, he said
And the
just
slow jam.
Yeah.
So, and I asked her, can you get COVID and RSV at the same time? She said, you can get COVID, the flu, and RSV at the same time.
Oh,
God.
And so, I don't know. I don't want to play a doctor here, but it is very possible that at some point in this 3-week stretch here, you picked up RSV. My mom had it. I had it. My wife had it. And Betsy had it. And it lingers weeks. Like this fatigue thing is, I'm going on week 3 of exhaustion. So
you just be tired.
Just tired. I mean, I had a cough.
Yeah.
It started with a cough, but then it was just pure exhaustion. So it was interesting to me that you said you're really tired.
I had something I had something like that before.
Well, you were out a couple days.
Yeah, I was out a couple of days. I had something like that before, but it was at a previous time, and it was called mono. You shouldn't make out with random girls.
Yeah, no, that's bad. The kissing disease. The kissing disease.
Gee,
What in the world?
You're married.
Gee, you're a
bro.
married man.
You're a
What are
married
you
man.
doing?
You're a married man.
That was in
That's
high,
the Sam Darnold
Wait
effect.
a minute.
they had
Wait a
nothing,
minute.
they had
Hold
nothing to do with
on.
high
You want
school.
another kissing
No,
demonstration,
wait a
don't
minute.
you?
We got to talk about this right now because this is a rule.
that fake kiss?
When was this? Is what, back in college or something like that?
Oh, listen, that was a make-out bandit.
Listen, you
Make
know.
out bandit.
So when you go to, for people that don't know, when you went out, like, and you met a girl in like the club, you're not supposed to like kiss her in the club.
Why not?
Who said it was in the
Because you
club?
don't know her. You don't know that
Hey,
woman.
that is a brother's law.
You don't know that woman.
Is
You don't know
Tyvus
what-
serious?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
dead
Tyvus, are you serious
No,
right
I'm
now?
Dead serious.
No kissing and
Dead-
hugging.
The first day you meet her in the club, no, you don't know that woman.
Hey, man, listen.
You never hooked up with a girl the first day you met her?
No.
That was the
Wow.
that was
That's a
Absolutely.
wholesome child.
No, I've never had that
Oh
one
my
night stand.
God,
None of that.
Tyvus.
No.
Listen,
Good
hey
for
man,
you, man.
Yeah.
145 at OU. Don't stop believing comes on.
Yeah. Look, you get those 2 a.m. goggles going.
Hey, G, we got to talk about. Gee, we got to talk about that fake kiss you just did a minute ago.
I
You
know.
look like
I know.
you
boy.
look like you look like he looks like the couple in dodgeball that was like making out and licking each other.
Yeah,
Remember
he does.
those two?
Back then, my face.
doing
Back then, my face was slim. Back then, bro, I had the baby face on. I had.
I
I have to say,
I am shocked right now.
I saw that video that you shot.
Yeah.
That you sent me.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago that was, but you were kind of slim.
I was
back
slim
in
back
the
then.
day.
Slim. Hey, listen. If I bull, don't get it twisted. My wife be telling me you're never allowed to get that small again. It comes with a whole lot of extra stuff. She's like, I like you just the way you are. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then I realized it was in subtitles. She was like, I don't trust that guy. I don't like him.
G. Bush Suave.
So you was making them laugh.
Oh no, I was just like we'd be right 145 come. See, back then you used to be able to do smoke breaks. They used to have people smoking in bars, and then you might make out with somebody and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I got Marlboro Sandy. You're like, oh, she definitely just went to a smoke
See, now
break.
that was a hard, fast rule of mine. You had one. Mine was if you were a smoker,
right.
I'm with you.
that
That's
ain't
my
going
number
down,
one.
bro.
Right.
My number
I ain't
one.
making out with no damn ashtray.
See, here's the thing, guys.
There you go.
At 1:45 in the
Guilty of
morning,
all of it.
Wait,
I think smoking's disgusting.
Yeah.
I would never,
There's a
never
butt
really
coming.
wanted to date
I know
anyone that
it is.
smoked.
coming.
Here you go.
But at 1:45 in the morning at the bar when the prospects are getting slim, beggars can't be choosers. I'll tell you
Hey,
that.
See, that violates my rules of engagement.
Wait a minute.
I'm not going there.
It's my number one red
It's
flag.
my number one, too. I see a girl light up a cigarette, and I don't care if she's a supermodel 10 plus.
agree.
If I see that, she's
I
an
agree.
automatic 3.
Haley Berry smoking a cigarette. Says Jay,
my
what's up?
Bye. Bye, Haley.
Say no.
Nah, no
Bye.
chance.
Bye.
He's lying.
See, that's why you
I'm not, bro.
That's why you got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose who you hang out with. You got to survey the scene. Now, I don't play too many away games, but if you're doing an away game, away games, you don't know. You don't got the home field advantage. The crowd is against you. You got dudes. You don't know the land of the lake. Man, I went one time. I was on this mountain. We was a ski lodge with my two close white friends, and we went up there, and it was $300 just to breathe. Everything costs money up there. But here's the thing. Even up there, when you at certain places, you got to know who you bringing. Like Jay, we would ask Jay to take one for the team. We like, Jay, you know good and well that girl over there, she like you. She been all. You got to get us inside that camp. What are you doing over there? You can't be having standards. You standards at 140.
I ran point in my day. I had no problem running
G.
point.
Bush is right. You have to have one friend in the group who smokes, so in case there's a girl who
Yes.
smokes,
Yes.
they just pair off.
You know
That's
what's
you.
sad?
Or someone like Bull who isn't afraid.
Or you
of
gotta have
pair
going
up
back to
with
my
someone
Jersey
who's
Shore
good.
days,
You
you
know
gotta have
what?
someone ready to take a grenade.
I wish we
That's
had
what-
video. I wish we had Mikey.
This is
video of
sad.
McNuggets at Jersey Shore
Because
would be
I don't-
priceless.
I don't think I stayed out
Did I?
past midnight one time in college.
Bro, you
Good for
wasted.
you, man.
Whoa,
That's it.
whoa.
I had that pure
Listen,
life.
11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
Right, not
Lights
11.
out. I'm
This
gone.
guy.
Hey guys, everybody look at their text right now that I just sent. Don't mention it on the air, but
right.
look at the text I just sent.
Don't mention it.
Okay, Bull, I see you. I see you, Bull.
Wait a minute.
Atta boy.
Hey,
God, I wish we could do that.
And
We
with
won't.
that-
Sometimes you
we have
get
to-
great opportunities. You don't pass them up.
With that, we have to pivot to some Browns-Bills
Yes, there
talk. 'Cause
is.
we
Yeah,
can't-
I got breaking news before we. Come on.
we just can't say what he
Bull,
texted us, so
I
we
will
have to
not
just move
get
on.
a text in the rest of this
Where
month,
did-
and the rest of this year.
where did this
I will
come
not
from?
get a text that
I
makes
don't
me
know.
laugh any more
Mono?
than the one you just
How
said.
did we get here?
Mono.
I don't know how we got here, but I'm glad.
Mono. Yeah, Mono got us.
Okay, so Leroy Horde's on the show. Robert Smith is on the show. Tyvis is going to do some more breakdowns. We're playing true and false. And big breaking news from the Browns. This is what we've been waiting for. This is it, guys. No, listen. It's a release from the Browns.
Okay, let's get it.
Came out this morning. Cleveland Browns have signed defensive tackle Ben Still, not to be
Yes.
confused with Ben Stiller. He's now on
I'd
the
rather
active
have Ben
roster.
Stiller.
I would too. He came from the Browns, the Miami practice squad, and they've also signed defensive tackle Roderick Perry. So rest easy. The soft middle has been addressed.
I thought they released Perry.
Real quick,
They
do you want
signed
to
him
hear,
again.
you wanna hear
Practice
Ben
go-
Still's stats?
Yeah, throw him out
Played
there.
in 9 games, didn't he?
2 tackles.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's it.
That's two. That's
Listen.
one more than Myles Garrett had on Sunday.
Well, listen.
Fair.
Listen.
Guys, I'd rather have the refrigerator Perry at 50 than Rod Perry.
Wait a minute. Listen. At least they are admitting that there is a problem. That's the first step to recovery.
He hasn't.
That's true.
Admitting that there is a
Sometimes
problem.
that's like saying I have a heroin problem. I'm just gonna do meth today. Like it doesn't really solve the issue.
Yeah, right. You're passing one to
It's
the
a
other.
step in the right direction,
that's,
but
that's not
let's
a
not
good.
pretend that it's solving
No,
the real issue.
I don't
here.
like that one. That's not this. That's like saying that I'm a heroin addict and I should try to not do it as many times today. Maybe
No,
I'll
you're
do-
gonna buy some Narcan.
He know the street drug. He know the names of that. That guy, what's his name? His name is Ben Steele.
Ben
Yeah,
Still.
Ben Still.
Yeah.
Not Ben Stiller.
Ben Steele sound like an adult film name. Like he just got.
True.
All right, listen.
Be-
He come in here and make some plays. Y'all
Ben
gonna owe this
Steele.
man an apology on this show.
Hey.
True.
I think he got mono at Bowling Green, probably.
Hey, shout out to Bowling Green. They beat Toledo last night.
That's
They
a
were
big. That's a
15-point
big
underdogs.
rivalry
Listen,
game.
we've lost to
cut
Toledo
this.
like 117 years in a row.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal.
Rivalry game.
Big deal. And it was at Toledo, and Toledo scored a touchdown with 40 seconds to go to take their first lead of the game. BG was up 21-0. And Toledo scored with 45 seconds to go up 35-34. And I was hot. I'm like, I can't believe it. It's going to happen again. Bowling Green scored. They went the length of the field and scored a touchdown in like 25 seconds.
No kidding.
And they won the game 42-35.
You know what one of the collateral damages of like the transfer portal is? I don't think we're ever going to see like the level of quarterbacks we used to see in the MAC. Like,
I don't either.
Like the
if
Ben
you do,
Roethlisberger.
it's one and done. They'll be there 1 year.
Because it's just like those guys would have been going to Florida.
And
next
go
year.
ahead, rattle off the guys that came through the MAC.
Bruce
twin.
Bruce Gradkowski
Byron
won.
Leftwich.
Omar
Ben
Jacobs,
Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger, Byron Leftwich, Charlie Batch.
I think those days are
Josh
gone.
Cribbs.
Because they gonna do 1 year and bounce.
Yes,
they-
and once they get good,
But that's not
They're
not
gone.
necessarily because it'll be high recruits that don't play at the big schools and they be like, you know what, I want to play, and they're gonna transfer to a MAC.
Dan Lefevre, he played.
they're
Bears
really
drafted
good,
him.
though.
Isn't the guy who's at Toledo now? Didn't he start somewhere else and then transfer to Toledo?
well, I think you might see some of that
Yeah.
where the big 4- and 5-star guys go to Ohio State, get gobbled up,
Right.
and they transfer to a smaller
right.
school
So
and
it's
then
not
blossom.
over. It's not over.
Yeah, but we're not going to see it as much as we did for a while in the 90s. The MAC was putting one a year in the draft.
One a
Listen,
year.
if they get
Bull,
a good coach up there again.
We're going to start today with trying to figure out how we stop Josh Allen. Now, I should preface this. The weather, I think I heard at one point yesterday that we're calling for 3 feet of snow in Buffalo. Is that true?
I've heard
Well,
down to 2 feet, but
2
yes.
feet now. Well,
I was looking at the forecast. I'm certainly no weatherman, and obviously, as we know in Cleveland, when it comes to snow and lake effect snow, things can change, right? You can get 15 inches by your house, Jay, on the east side,
That's
and there
very
could be 2
true.
inches of snow in Rocky River or
Very
Lakewood,
true.
where G and I live.
Right.
So the same thing happens in Buffalo because they get that lake effect snow too.
How
I remember there was one storm where like Orchard Park where the Bills play, there was like 2 feet of snow, and Brockport, which is 40 minutes away, had like 2 inches of snow.
yeah,
it is. So it can be crazy
it's
like that.
unpredictable. Bull,
However-
if there is snow, who has the advantage?
My first thought would be it would be the Browns because you think Snow, you think, well, you're going to run the ball. The Browns have a good running game. The Bills don't really have much of a running game. However, my second thought was, well, the Bills are going to be who they are. And Josh Allen is so big and strong and has, for the most part, become accurate, although 2 of the last 3 weeks he has not been, that I think he can have success in any conditions. You know, I don't think the conditions are going to affect him. And I think the Browns, who want to be balanced more than the Bills do, will have a harder time doing that because I think Jacoby Brissett, like most quarterbacks, but unlike Josh Allen, is more likely to struggle in the snow than Josh Allen will. So,
true. And to that point, Josh can run it if he has to.
You know what? I think, call me crazy, but with his elbow injury, if I'm the Browns, anytime he drops back to pass, I'm playing it so he make him throw the ball because I think he's most dangerous right now using his legs. I would really make him throw the ball. Because I don't think right now the way his elbow is, I don't know. I don't know if the deep ball is there. And if I'm playing corner this week, he got to show it to me.
Some of his interceptions were just decision
Well, he leads the league in picks.
Yeah, and some of them on the last.
The last one, Pat Pete, he threw it late and threw it straight to him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, so I think he's most dangerous right now to me running the ball.
You've played in snow, obviously as a defender. Do you feel that you have an advantage or a disadvantage in snow?
Well, when it's snowing, the snow doesn't really.
It's an equalizer.
Yeah, it's the wind. If the wind is blowing, then the passing game, you can cancel Christmas on that. But if it's just snow, everything is still alive. Now, I will say that ball gonna be wet, so I'm definitely punching and ripping at that ball because it's gonna come out more times than not.
But do you think it'll be a factor on Sunday?
I think both teams will run the ball. If the snow is on the ground and the ball gets wet, they'll run the ball.
Well, doesn't that, to Bull's point, favor Cleveland?
You would think. But we can't stop the run.
You're right.
So we can sit here. If it was a sunny day out there, we'd be like, oh, well, we got to stop Diggs, Davis, Knox, all these people. You know what they do? Run the ball. Because that's how you beat the Browns right now. You have all these great wide receivers, but you know what? Run the ball. You know why? Because defensively, they're going to come in here and say, we got to find a way to stop Stephon Diggs. We got to find a way to stop Gabe Davis. They're not going to think that Devin Singletary is going to come out there and run the ball. So that's what we're going to do, run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Miami did.
Why? This is one of the worst teams that's stopping the run. Why would we throw it? Bill Belichick, run the ball.
Did you see the numbers that Jason tweeted, sent in our text chain last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
So
it's like historically.
So it says not only are the Browns 32nd in, I think the stat was run efficiency.
It was defensive EPA against
defensive EPA. Not only are they 32nd, they're 32nd by a mile.
They like worse.
You want the numbers?
And also give, if you would, the historic number. Because not only are they bad by this year's measure, they're bad all time. I think they were the worst since they've been keeping this stat.
I wish we could go back
to
the first day of this show when y'all asked me about this.
I know. I remember you going in on it.
Here's the text from Jason in abbreviated clean version. The Browns' total rush defense EPA this year is minus 34.76, so negative 34.76. The next worst, negative 10.51, so 24 points worse than the regular. It's almost too bad to be a reality. It's the worst run defense in at least 22 years from when they started tracking the stat.
So what we're talking about isn't just a bad run defense.
Run the ball.
We're talking about, since they've been keeping this metric,
it's abysmal.
The worst run defense that the NFL has ever known.
I'm just going to keep
And to be that bad, guys,
yeah.
I started to cut you off there, G,
no,
but
go
to
ahead.
be that bad, obviously, Tyvis, you're talking about the talent, whatever. When it's that bad, when it's that standout bad, it can't just be the talent. It can't be. Because, it's not like what do they have by far the worst talent in front seven in the history of football in the modern? That's silly. There's been plenty of terrible front sevens. So it's got to be more to it than just the players, and that's we talk about the DC.
What do you guys think about that?
Well,
I mean, the players are the one out there on the field.
I keep going to this, man. You know what? I've been saying it for 3 years, man. Like these guys, Joe Woods is just not a very good coordinator. He's just not. You know, and I know a lot of times people just say, well, you know, give it another year or give him his ingredients, give him some more stuff, do all this other stuff, nonsense. I said it the second that they let Chad Henne run for 14 yards. On third down.
That broke my heart.
That was it.
That's a shame.
For me, those egregious mistakes like that tell me whether you got it or you don't.
That was the play that kept them from going to the AFC.
To the AFC Championship.
And doesn't that seem like 1,000 years ago?
And that's what they sometimes.
There's a lot of more plays than that happened in that game.
There are, but that play was the one.
No,
if they stopped them there,
fumbling that ball might have been the one. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you this. It goes to intent. If you're a lawyer, you're proving intent by certain different things people do in the court of law. I'm looking at what you meant by that, looking at the extenuating circumstances. And when I looked at Joe Woods, I looked at that's a characteristic of who he is as a play caller. It's the lack of aggressive tendencies. So even when you have a team down and it's in your advantage, and this guy has not thrown a pass, hasn't done anything, and he comes in and you let him just do that. Not only does that say that you don't have an aggressive mind state, it means you can't read the room, you don't know about what the time and tendencies dictate, and you would rather try to let them make a mistake on their own rather than you causing.
He's not forcing mistakes.
He's not forcing nothing.
Is he the least aggressive defensive coordinator that you've seen in a while, Tyvus?
All time.
Because it's constantly 4-man rushes.
Yeah.
There's nothing exotic. There's nothing creative. There's nothing that puts pressure on the other team.
Like he doesn't blitz at all. And I've been in this scheme for the majority of my career in the league. And Robert Saleh blitzed, and Chris Richard blitzed. That's in I think he's in the Saints now, but he was the D coordinator when I was in Seattle.
And that's the same system.
And it was so bad on the blitzes that they actually hated it in Seattle. Like the players hated it, but he called it a lot because he felt that they needed to get pressure there. But the players like Sherm couldn't stand it because it leaves holes in the defense, and some teams will pick up the blitz and hit the gap. So I don't know if Joe Woods is afraid of that, but sometimes you gotta risk something.
He does seem like he's coaching afraid, and I don't know who it was yesterday. Someone said that on the program.
If you're scared, go to church.
It's on Sunday.
Go to church.
Someone on the program this week said.
Yeah, someone said it was.
I can't remember.
It was on Monday. We talked about it on Monday, and to kind of help us explain some of these defensive miscues that the Browns have gone through and some of Joe Wood's schemes is our man Coach Tyvus here with the whiteboard. We promised the iPad. We had some technical difficulties with it this morning. It will be
here next week.
It works perfectly.
By the way, this is my favorite segment of the week. Because what it does, it takes all excuses out of the way, and it's not what you think they should be doing. We're going to show you why they suck, continue to suck, and are going to suck moving forward.
And it was this morning while Tyvus is drawing up the first play. The iPad was working, and it's really cool to see the players and the exact formation. I was hopeful. I'll show you after the carousel. We couldn't put in a carousel without having to readjust every picture. Me and Anthony all tried it. Tyvus was here. Now we're really working on it.
Okay.
It'll be in progress
next
week.
This is CIS random forensic breakdown. This is why the unsubs can't freaking get people lined up.
Okay, so this first one is the Raheem Mostert touchdown. And this one was so puzzling to me.
What was the down and distance on this one?
I don't got that.
Damn.
1st and 10.
Okay, 1st and 10.
Okay.
So
what yard line?
31?
31 or 32.
I think it was a 31 yard
context.
touchdown.
Anyways, so we in here. They take the Sam out and they put Ronnie Harrison in to play the Sam because Ronnie Harrison's a box safety, pretty big enough, physical enough in the run game. So they come out in this alignment right here. You got two wide edges. You got him right there, and you got the linebackers. Now these two is in a stack formation. So usually when I tell you, if you watch the Browns, you can pretty much tell who has what gaps because they line up over their gap. But when these linebackers is in this stack formation, technically they go where the flow of the ball is. So obviously he's in that gap, he's in that gap. If the ball goes right, boom, boom, that's so far. Go left, boom, boom, all right? So before the snap, boom, he motions over, he scoots him in the box. This ball hits right here through this gap, right? Going off of what I just said, flow, and he should be out here on the edge, right? This guy pushes up, blocks him. This backside guard reaches Deion Jones and he never, ever makes it over to the play. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching the play. I went back and watched all 22. The ball is snapped. The play is going. This man has not taken a step yet. I'm sitting there like
no steps.
Like, what are you doing? Like the line is going that way, the running back's going that way. Like, you gotta go because this guy's gonna leverage it, and it's your boom. Nobody's there. You should be a free hitter to make the play. He took so long that this guard hits him, catches him all the way up here, and locks him so he can't do nothing. So boom, Raheem goes and takes it to the house.
There's no one to get him.
I was sitting there like, I cannot believe that just happened. So why was 51 rotating in? Because he had Deion Jones had a rough
and this was our savior. This
game.
was
I don't
the
know
move.
what. Yeah, he had a rough game. It was bad at times.
Before you erase that, just know that as a middle linebacker, your landmarks and your keys are the guards. The guard, he's upfield.
Gone.
This play is right here.
Yeah,
it's coming your
here.
way.
He gone.
And for you to be able to, this guy, he's over three. He reached him.
That's
in
what I'm
one
saying.
gap.
That's
two guys. He reached him three
To
gaps.
be honest with y'all, that's unbelievable that the backside guard can reach you.
He's never supposed to get
That's
there.
like a tactical error. Like you should never ever let
So
that happen.
is it just lack of awareness? Is it lack of effort?
Jay, I don't. Like I said, I don't know what he must be suffering from. What I call paralysis by analysis. They have told
So he's
him,
thinking too much.
Yeah, thinking way too much. Like you get, which they admit at times, like they're trying to do everything perfectly. And sometimes you got to say, forget that.
Does he get any slack because he's new to this?
He been in this system before. He
Yeah,
was in this system in Atlanta when he was a Pro Bowl.
But the verbiage is different, right? I mean,
No!
it's all the same.
Yes,
Every team's
pretty
using
much,
the
yes.
exact same.
Yes.
Really?
Because those
From
are
Seattle to San Fran to Dallas, it was all called the same
because
thing.
your base technique doesn't change. Your technique is the same across the world if you are lined up in base. Like this nose tackle right here. He's already shaded this way. This is his gap.
That's what I'm saying.
Why
the
did
tackles ain't they where they at.
Why did you get reached by the center? You got reached because the ball hit here. You can't get reached. He's supposed to be flowing that way. You definitely can't get reached by a backside guard. It's the same in every world.
It's unbelievable, Jay. Like it's so that's
So we're blaming him for that, not the system, not the coaching. Him.
What do you think?
I think it's all on him. I mean, the coach can't
So
get it.
now all of a sudden you be seeing where I be in the dilemma now. Because it's like, I understand like what you're supposed to do. If you go, I'm gonna show you the play after this over with. You're gonna see, you're gonna be like, why is he still standing there? I was like, go.
I remember the play in real time, and I remember thinking, did they think the snap? Did they miss the snap? Did they not
The
know
ball
that the
right
ball
in front
was?
of you, so I don't know about that. All right, so the next one,
What play is this?
we'll do Sheffield's touchdown.
While Tyvus is drawing that up, Steve, can we take iPad full? Let's see if this just kind of works. It's small, but take it full. I'll make it bigger. So it does work, guys, just so you'll know it works. Just so you guys understand, I need a third hand to draw here, actually. Anthony, hold the microphone button for me.
Here we go. Good.
All right, just while Tyvus drawing the next play.
Teamwork.
This
makes
is
the dream
Deion
work.
Jones. He gets blocked by this dude. Like this guy right here.
That's-
Somehow he gets
that's-
over in time.
That's more than 5 yards.
And,
Yeah.
and that nose tackle right there over the center, he gets reached. He gets reached by this guard, this center as well.
So, to Tyvus's breakdown, you see the full play. This gives you a little visual element. This is the next play, which Tyvus will break down. Jay, the iPad does work. It's just now you have to close everything out and then reload it. And by the time he did it again,
Can you
It'd be
play
too
that
long.
play?
All right.
that's a still shot. It's a still shot.
Yeah, we can only show still shots.
Oh, that would have been dope to see. Just actually
I know
destroy.
it's a joke
We'll
to
do.
me, but
We have the same thing for Tyvus's next play, so we'll give you the
right.
visual breakdown next. Tyvus, take it away.
All right, so for this one, it ain't nothing glitz or glamorous about this play at all. The Browns are in cover 2 because that's their red zone defense. They run cover 2. So in cover 2, usually this is the guy you hit because the corner, they play everything high to low. So as he reads him goes, boom, he got to take the fade. This should be the ball that he hits, but Tua seen one-on-one coverage, so he threw the ball, right? So the only thing I can say about this play is that Martin Emerson did everything right. He started off, he was on top. As you get down the field to get to the end zone, you want to play underneath routes because if they turn around at the goal line and catch it, it's a touchdown. So he plays everything right. What happens is Sheffield gives him a nice little stiff arm to the face to push off to get the thing. Now, everybody's like, well, they call it against Amari Cooper. Why didn't they call it against Sheffield? Because it's really so quick and so subtle that you really can't see it as a referee, like, because obviously the hand fighting, they let that play.
Honestly, I don't know about that because in real time, I said he shoved.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Yeah, but
and I'm not talking about the replay. In real time, I'm screaming.
Referees pick and choose when they want to call it.
Yeah,
so,
I know they do.
Martin Emerson, he's a young rookie. I'm going to tell him what Sherm taught me in these situations because it happened to me in practice. So when you get down there in the red zone, I don't care if you're playing in the NFL, college, or backyard football. It is natural when you see a fade ball at the very end of the route, whoever you checking, he's going to push off. He's going to push off with one hand to get the separation to go up. I don't know why. It's just what we do as football players, as wide receivers. So when you get down there, when he gives you that hand, you grab it and you don't give it back for the rest of the play. He cannot get.
Yeah, but when you grab it, you're at risk of being called for pass interference.
Yeah, but you know what? They let the hand fight and go because they see that happening. So you grab it and you swing your other hand across to play the ball. You make him catch the ball with one hand. I thought when Sherm taught it to me, I said, Sherm, they gonna call pass interference every time. He said, do it in the game and see. I went out there and did it. They did not call pass interference. I seen Sherm go out there and do it. They did not call pass interference because they understand. Now, I'm not telling you to be blatant. It's literally you got to keep it close.
Right.
So if you hold it, because he's going to give it.
And I have seen guys do that
listen,
before.
He's going to give it to you. When he give it to you, boom, you lock it right here like this.
Yeah.
So now he going up with one hand. Now you take that other hand, swing it apart. They can't tell. They like, oh, he just up on it.
Right.
Like the DB's just in good position to make the play.
So that's they're going to just write that off as typical hand
Exactly. It's a vet move.
No
big
flag.
vet move. So that's what you do in those situations, Martin. Anybody that's friends with Martin, tell him I said it.
And by the way,
send him my way. I'll get him right.
That was if you want to talk about
why isn't Joe Woods getting him right?
Ball placement.
I don't know.
That was a
hell of a great throw.
That was a hell of a rock.
It was a great
throw.
throw.
No, it was.
Tyvis, you gonna drop the goal line play real quick?
Yeah, I can draw that really quick.
And while Tyvis is drawing it up, we'll show you guys, Steve, we take tag board again. Not tag board, iPad again. This is the visual element of the play you're about to see Tyvis draw up. But this is the formation. It's cover 0 on the goal line. 3rd and goal from the 2. And the guy you're going to be looking at here is, see, now we got to adjust to see. It's all this thing.
Tyreek.
But this is the guy you're looking at right here. Tyreek versus Greg Newsome. That'll be the matchup. Tyvis draws up
I'm
in a
going to be
sec.
completely honest with y'all. I seen this, and this is a shame. This is.
They're all a shame.
No, this is bad.
This is the worst one?
Yeah, this one really got me. It really ground.
Because I thought the Dion play was the worst.
This one ground my gears because, for one, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. We were in cover 0. We was in cover 0 on the goal line, which is hilarious to me.
Explain to folks what cover 0 is.
Cover 0 means that there is nobody in the back. It's straight man across.
Your man.
They even took the safeties out the game to put extra D-line in the game because they couldn't stop the run. So what did they do? Of course, they passed. You see one-on-one coverage across the board. We're going to throw the ball. Now, the tactical error made was by Greg Newsome right here on this play. If you playing cover 0, the easiest throw in football is straight down the middle. For a quarterback, right down the middle of the field. So when you playing 0, you never, ever, ever give up the inside on the route. You always give up outside breaking routes because that's harder throw, takes time. You might be able to recover and make a play. But if he beats you inside and the quarterback can laser it right there, then that's going to be a touchdown every time. And that's exactly what happened. He came up, gave him a little shimmy, boom, shot inside. G. Newton never recovered, touchdown right over the ball. This guy's gone with the motion. So that right there, G. Newton just has to play heavy inside, and he has to live with those big 7 routes because it's actually harder to throw those passes than people think.
So my question is, when they come out in that formation, that personnel, why you at goal line?
Because we couldn't stop the run. And I said the same thing. I said, why? I laughed. I literally laughed. I said, this is so bad that you putting out extra linemen like this. That's pathetic that we got to do that. But that's what they did. They took the safeties out the game, brought in your best 3 cover guys, corner, took the safeties out, part in the extra lineman, boom, boom, got your 2 linebackers out there. Linebackers checking the tight end, and this one got the running back.
These guys are dead.
It's really like
they're dead.
It's as bad as we think, isn't it?
That was bad.
There's no way you can cover them one-on-one.
Hey, Earl, happy birthday, brother.
Yes, happy birthday,
man.
Great
job.
And that's my breakdown. That's the Tyvis Madden segment of the day. Thank y'all.
Now, it was excellent. It really was because it takes you inside what the hell is going on. Leroy, we just gave a metric that Jason Lloyd gave us yesterday that says not only are the Browns 32nd in run efficiency, they are 32nd by a mile. Like, the gap between them and 31 is incredibly large. They are also it's the lowest a team has ever rated in run defense since this metric became a thing in the year 2000. So we're not just bad, we're historically bad. What are you seeing?
Well, part of the reason I was on TV a lot on a bunch of radio shows last week, and what I suggested is that the Browns don't rush. Play more of a two gap.
Yeah, don't blitz.
And bat the ball down. Because what has plagued the Browns for the last few games, win or lose, is you got these two outside guys go and get the passer, and there's no pressure up the middle, and you're creating seams every which way possible. So you're not only creating seams for a short quarterback to throw the ball, but you're also creating seams for them to run the ball. And you can't stop either one as long as you allow these seams in the defense. So whatever's going on and all the things that Tyvis is talking about are accurate. I would say without being able to get some consistent pressure up the middle, however you want to do it, you are putting everyone else in a difficult spot. And you're asking that secondary to cover two of the fastest guys in the league. You're asking those linebackers to figure out what's going on because, normally when the Browns play well, they don't need all that time to figure out what's going on because the defense is getting there. But whenever that doesn't happen, they get pieced up, both running the football and passing the football. And what I would say is this. The only thing that really got to me was there's a rule in football. And it's offensively and defensively. And you learn this rule in the beginning of camp. Offensively, they tell you the first preseason game, they're going to throw a couple of blitzes at you. If you don't pick them up, you're going to see that blitz all year. Right? Defensively, if you can't stop the run in preseason, you're going to get ran on all year. And they're going to pick you apart. And what I would say is once you find out you're not getting pressure up the middle, as coaches, you have to find a way to get pressure up the middle. Whether it's with games, whether it was linebackers lining up in the A-gap, you can line linebackers up in the A-gap and make them block a certain way and then drop out.
Yep.
But you got to do something. Stop lining these guys up in the same spots every play and thinking it's going to get better.
Leroy, the part that gets me the most is that when I was watching it, they line up with these wide edges.
Oh, my
and
God.
I'm like, you cannot do that unless you got some dogs in the middle. You cannot do that.
Right. But Ty, think of this. You line these guys up damn near wide nines.
Yep.
Every time. And I'll be like.
And they thinking they going to get. And then you got the two tackles dapping each other up over in the A-gaps. Every team in the world going to check to a run.
So why hasn't Kevin Stefanski see what you guys are saying is blatantly obvious? Why can't he see it?
Here's why. And I thought about this too.
Give me something, man.
Sometimes you are limited on what you can do or what you can adjust to based on the people you have in the game. Meaning that me and Tyvis have fun with this, but part of the reason why you have a go-to defense is because some of these young guys don't know what the hell to do. So anytime a guy go in motion and you see that your team isn't adjusting to it properly, then that safety or that linebacker just gonna check to base defense. So when you see that guy going in motion, if somebody don't chase him and y'all playing man coverage and the safety see that, it's either gonna be a timeout or check to base defense. So I don't know if they have adjustments in place or defenses in place to do these things, but then when it all happens, they just check the base, because that's what it seems like. It seems like far too many times you got a fire drill going on offense, and the defense just back up and play base defense. And so I don't know what that is, but even from that standpoint, here's what I would do. I would blitz to stop the run. So if you put enough pressure on any quarterback, he gonna start looking at the wrong things. Ain't nobody that poised, because nobody like being hit. And the fact that they've never even tried to do that. Like, we all been watching Tom Brady for how many years? And what's the deal? Try to get pressure up the middle. Try to get pressure up the middle. So all these coaches try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But they know what they need to do.
Leroy,
I watch this team and I say, hey, man, isn't it time to make a couple of adjustments? If you're going to give up a bomb, give it up blitzing everybody. Because that's where you are.
I just think, Leroy, when you look at both sides of the football, and, sometimes, people think that I'm a knee-jerk reaction person. Well, I can look at you and see if it ain't going to work or not. I just know. I look at it. I can look at it a couple times to see if it's not going to work. But my problem is and this is team-wide, offense and defense, right? When I watch other teams, and this is irrefutable, I watch other teams, and when we get ready to play those teams, we look at the film and we like, wow, they make sure their playmakers get it. They make sure you're going to be scared as hell of Tyreek Hill. He got 1,200 yards already. And then they spot shadow it so much that when you come into the game, they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we got Tyreek Hill. And even though we like Tyreek Hill, you so bad in the run game, we're going to get whatever we want either way. So my problem is when you talk about the defense and how it looks, there are some times that I think people don't understand. There's incompetent people in every walk of life. Everybody ain't even a good minister. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not a good mechanic. Everybody's not a good actor. At some point, you have to tell yourself, I understand we want to put these people on pedestals, but it's unequivocally to the point right now. You understand as it's malpractice for a defensive coordinator to not see these basic. You talk basically, Leroy. There's basics. Run blitzing is basics. Like, I can't stop you, but let's get people in the box. You run the ball with three people in the backfield.
Exactly. Well, and here's the other thing.
Well, they do walk people down in the box.
Hey,
now. They do. It be
you know what I learned a long time ago? That just because you got a title don't mean you good at it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Super facts.
Like, stop thinking just because you go into a doctor's office that doctor is good. Stop acting just because you go to a mechanic that mechanic is good. We make those assumptions far too often. Now, look, I will say this. If you're in the NFL, you're amongst the elite to play the sport. But it don't mean you the elite
of the elite.
Of the elite. Right. And so I would say that there's a whole lot of stuff going on that we don't know about. Right? For example, Tyvis broke down a play, right? And it's all fine and great and dandy, right? But who's to say that they didn't watch film and they said Tyreek is going to run that quick out or that 7, so guard against that. And then they change it up and he run across the field. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things at play. So I don't really try to, talk about as much of the game plan or what's being told, because sometimes what we see, we don't understand what the plan was going into this. I basically deal with the basics, and that is, if your quarterback is getting sacked, you need an extra protector. If you can't get at the quarterback, you need to change it up and find different ways to get at him.
I feel
You see, just basic things like that. So when I watch a game, and I'm seeing a team get picked apart and not stopping anything, my immediate response is, y'all better do something to stop one of these things.
But doesn't that ultimately go on to the coordinator?
Deal with the consequences.
But ultimately, Leroy, doesn't that go to the coordinator? He's the guy that has to devise something to stop it.
What is his? When he came to Cleveland, that was his first coordinator experience, because he was a DB coach in San Fran and Denver, right?
I'm not sure about that. McNuggets, can you look that up? Is this Joe Woods' first D-Core job?
Yeah, because, if that's the case, then
Hold on, ask it one more time. I didn't hear you.
Is this Joe Woods' first job as a defensive coordinator? Was he a D coordinator somewhere else, or was he just a position coach?
I'm 99.9% positive. I'm pretty sure D coordinator in Denver. Hold on.
No, I don't think he was. What? I thought he was a DB coach.
No, he's not the defensive coordinator in Denver.
He was the defensive coordinator for the Broncos from 2017 and 2018. So, no, not his first defensive coordinator.
So he was a defensive coordinator in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm guessing he just didn't walk away because he was doing so well.
What, in Denver?
Yeah.
Well, he ended up, so what happened is...
They had a good defense.
They had a good defense. What happened is San Francisco lost Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley was my DB coach. He went to Ohio State to be the D coordinator. They had to fill the DB coach job. So they went and got Joe Woods from Denver.
Denver had a top 5 defense with Joe Woods as the defensive coordinator in 2017. So...
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's perplexing because they did last year at the end of the year, too.
I don't understand.
At the end of the season, if you go from week 8 on, they were a top 5 defense.
Well, let me give you this.
I just don't know why we're seeing two different looks.
And I'm going to throw it to Leroy right after I say this. Sometimes when you got coaches, people believe that if you can minimize the damage, right? People don't want to see splash plays. People think that if I just give up a big play, people going to notice that. Big plays, you going to get fired. But if I just play conservative and I just make them take another snap, people won't get on me as much if I'm giving up 7 points after 12 plays. But if I'm giving up big-time points on deep balls, on crazy runs, all these big splash plays, then it brings a little attention to yourself. But he doesn't understand that we still see you. We still understand
that. Death by a million cuts.
You still dying.
He is giving up the splash plays, though.
He was early.
They giving up a bunch of explosives, and that's the problem. That's the frustrating part, because this defense is predicated to not really give up.
They were blatant.
Big
miscommunication. Guys were like smoke on a smoke break on the sidelines.
They was all doing this and doing that.
Right. And that's gone away. But to G. Bush's point, now it's death by a million cuts.
Yeah, by the run game.
Yeah. Well, and guess what? There's a lot of D coordinators that think like that. And you know where this started, right?
Where?
Belichick.
Okay.
Belichick had a theory, and that was, if you're an offense and you can go 12 plays without a mistake, without a false start, without a holding, without a drop ball, if you can go 12 plays, I'm going to tip my hat to you. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to make you go 12, 13 plays to score.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating.
That's it.
You see?
Absolutely.
And that's why that Patriots defense has always been a bend but don't break. Probably because Bill's philosophy is you're going to have to do what you just said.
They always say stay on top, because don't no quarterback want to sit there all game and take check down.
That's it.
They're not going to do it.
The
quarterback and the OC going to be like, you know what, take the shot. And when they do, you got to make them pay.
But here's the problem with that. The problem with that is this. What the Dolphins do is they do a hell of a job exploiting the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
There's only been a handful of quarterbacks that do that. Drew Brees to the point where they used to take their number one receiver and play him in the slot. Michael Thomas.
Which was unheard of.
Go Bucks.
Which was unheard of, but that's where that started. And Drew Brees was so accurate that he only started having problems when he got older and couldn't make those throws in the middle of the field. That's when you knew his career was coming to an end. It wasn't whether the arm was strong enough. It was that he couldn't throw those balls in the middle of the field, which is where he made all of his living. So in order to defend that, you have to have one of two things. First thing you got to do is stop the run. Because if you don't stop the run and the linebackers come up, the middle of the field is even wider, is even bigger. And that's what kind of happened to the Browns. Couldn't stop the run. You bring the linebackers down. You're still not stopping the run. And then they throw it over top of the linebackers into the middle of the field with cover 2, and it looked like they had green grass for days. So my whole thing is that as the game is going on, you see what's happening. I could see what was happening. We all could see all the green grass in the middle of the field. And so now you got to counter that. And you might not have to counter it next week. You might not have to counter it the week before. But football is fluid. You got to do the things to win the game today. And if that means that you play a little out of your comfort zone, you're going to lose anyway if you keep doing the same damn thing.
There it is.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that's what's so frustrating. It's the adjustments. Right. It's the no adjustments. Like you just go ahead and keep doing the same thing. Like do something.
I'm careful with this. But Ty, I'm careful with this. Is that we've had this conversation.
It might be an adjustment. And they just ain't getting it.
You don't know, right?
They just ain't.
You
getting
don't
it,
know
right?
if guys are doing the right things. And that the guy calling the plays on defense.
Well, I said
see
that.
See a guy go in motion.
I said that.
The right
Leroy,
guy ain't following him. And he's like, check two.
Or active sabotage. Now, when you now what I no, hold on. Watch this. Now watch this. I'm coming with this. Watch this. When you play for a coach, and that coach done lost your mindset. You would have seen play after play. He tell you all week, we going to run this. You get to the play, you get to the game, and you look at the other side of the field, and you say, these dudes done smoked us again in this game plan. And then what happens is when he start talking to you, when he start telling you what you're going to do, a lot of cats is like, well, I'm going to just go for self. Maybe I do got contained, but I'm trying to get a sack. Maybe I am supposed to deliver hands, but I'm not paying. And a lot of people.
But see, the thing about that, though, G, is that active sabotage you trying to do, that's not going to hurt nobody but yourself.
You're ultimately trying to get the coach fired.
No.
Because
they might not see that like that. They might look at it like, get fired. We're going to release you.
Or if it's Myles Garrett, he ain't going nowhere.
He might be on the block and we don't know it.
Go ahead, Leroy.
G. Bush, here's the problem. That only work in basketball. You know why? That money is guaranteed.
True.
Hey, in football, you sign them big old contracts, but you can still get that knock on that door.
Yeah, you can.
We've gone in a different direction. So every time you go on the field, you impressing somebody. And to say a guy gonna go onto a football field and purposely sabotage his coach, y'all both gonna be eating at the Krispy Kreme. Because your ass gonna be gone too.
Hey, Leroy, we got a super chat question for you.
Leroy, this comes from Charles T. from Germany. Thanks to Charles for watching. And
shout out to Germany, man.
Yeah, Germany
in the house.
Long way away. But he says,
bombs!
He says, we know Woods is gone. What other players should be gone too?
Look, one of the things that needs to happen defensively is that they got to get back to what they have done that's been successful before they determine who can do what. Because last year, it seemed like they were going after the quarterback a little bit more, right? It seems like they were more creative on defense as far as bringing guys off the slot, bringing guys up the middle, the A-gap blitzes, the linebackers. You know, look, if they can't cover, just rush them, right? Like, you got to have some type of way of being able to adjust with the flow of the game. I don't know how much of that the coaches want to do, but due to who's playing, they can't. And that's always a tough spot to sit here and kind of criticize, because we don't know. We don't know that Joe Wood wants to do a lot of different things but can't. And so it's the same thing as far as the offense. Like, we all like to think that this is the same offense that's going to be that they're going to run when Deshaun Watson gets in. But it's not, right? And so it becomes difficult to try to weed through what's really going on, because guess what? Let's take it to the beginning of the year. Like Ty said, you had a bunch of guys looking at each other, bunch of guys pointing at each other, who got who, I don't know. So now you the defensive coordinator. You're like, I got to rein this in. We can't do that, right? Mm-hmm. And now you've simplified it so much, everybody know what to do, but y'all getting cracked every game.
or maybe play their asses in the preseason. If you don't know what you're doing, and you sitting around in this camp cupcake, and you taking everybody drinking Kool-Aid with towels on their heads, hell yeah, you ain't gonna know what you doing.
Well, it might be that's the whole NFL.
Well, look, I always go to the Kansas City Chiefs. And they go to the AFC Championship every year. Them boys was out there practicing.
They played a lot.
Played week one. Patrick Mahomes.
Even Mahomes.
But Mahomes, that's Patty Mahomes. And if you don't know, MA's missed assignments means one thing. You're not in your book. You're not in that iPad.
That's a fact.
Fact. If you
That's a fact.
The only missed assignments is that means you're not in that pad.
Yep.
That's it. You knowing what you are supposed to do.
Because when you start off, that iPad give you every play with every check and adjustments you need to know.
All of them.
And you better know it. It ain't really no excuse.
So
right. But I would say this is that if that's the case, that ain't coaching. That's players. Right? Like you a grown ass man. Like, your coach shouldn't have to tell you
Facts.
With the amount of money you making and the amount of people depending on you to know what you need to do. Your coach shouldn't have to call you at home and say, "Are you going over your plays? Do you know what you have to do?"
Leroy,
and so from that standpoint, I don't know. And we have this conversation about leadership. I've never played on a team where they didn't have that one guy that would either be supportive or put you in check.
Check it in with
Well, A-Walk is gone, so that was a big blow.
Yeah, so the void of leadership keeps coming up. It keeps coming up.
You know, it's a leadership meeting every week. They got like a position player. Every position group got a leader, and they meet with Kevin Stefanski once a week.
Well, it's not going so well.
I just want to know if your team has designated you, your position group has designated you to be they look at you as the leader.
The leader.
On game day, that means your voice, they will hear what you're saying. You should get them going. I don't think it just looks
maybe
like
it
is happening because I don't see it on the TV. It
doesn't look like it's happening. Leroy, let's bring in your old running back mate, Robert Smith. Robert, we've been chewing on this all week, all season. How the hell do you fix this? And I'm speaking specifically about the defense because Leroy's point is guys were missing assignments, coordinator dumbs down the defense, they're still getting cracked. So how do you dive in analytically and put out this dumpster fire? Where do you start?
I mean, at this point in the season, because you're really kind of out of options and bringing in new talent. I mean, I don't want to say you're screwed, but you kind of are, right? Like, you're kind of left to guys, as Leroy said, like, it's got to come down to guys kind of having pride and saying, even if it's not for this team, if it's for one of 31 other teams, everything that you do is put on film. And if you go out there and you prove to everybody that you have no idea what you're doing or that you don't execute properly or that you don't play with emotion, which you can really see, right? Like those kind of things just jump off the film when you look at the defense. And yeah, it can be demoralizing when teams are just running down your throat and you're getting beat physically. But if you're just not out there trying, it always shows on defense, right? Because you have to have a certain level of emotion when you're playing defense and a certain level of physicality to you, and it's just not there. So what's the answer? I don't know. I mean, ultimately it comes down to guys saying my ass might be up out of the league if I don't play any better. And that's, to Leroy's point, like there's always that guy, right? There's got to be somebody that's challenging people and saying, if you and CC used to always say this, Chris Carter, like, if you don't know the tempo, watch me, right? You got to have those kind of guys, and
Right.
and you know what? They just don't. They just don't have those guys right now.
It's always interesting to me for the few teams that I played on. You can always tell, the success of a team when it comes to the tempo. So you know how in the league you have practice and then you have walkthrough. Some teams do walkthrough, some teams do practice first. So the first team that I've been on was Seattle, and we would come out there. It's a walkthrough, right? So you put your tennis shoes on and stuff like that. I see dudes out there in cleats. I'm a rookie, and I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Like, it's walkthrough.
Out there.
So I'm out there. You line up in corner. I'm lining up in corner. Like I'm about to go through my stuff. It's all walkthrough. So this is some time to get some good reps here. It's just slow. Them fools out there, bing, 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 gone. I'm like, whoa.
Hey.
So the tempo will walk. I'd be interested to see if this walk-through tempo for the Browns is like that. Because you get routed in San Francisco or Seattle if you came with some walk-through stuff. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
Ty, I'm going to tell you, I had a guy I could not stand practicing against. And that was John Randall. Because that dude was 100% wide open, walk through, pads, no pads.
I swear.
And
you embarrassed to walk through.
I was the only running back with a helmet and a mouthpiece and walk through in the gym. Because you had to deal with it. And you know what? I was mad as hell, but I respected the dude for this reason. That was the same energy he brought on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about them Thursday Pro Bowlers.
Yep.
Practice like you play.
Johnny brought it every single day. And guess what? If somebody on defense wasn't bringing it, you best believe he was getting after it.
He was not brother-in-law
and we
to
had
drill.
that on
no
offense.
brother, don't you brother-in-law to drill.
No! Hey, dude, we never practiced in pads. And I used to tell Johnny, I'm going to cut him. I'm going to cut you. He said, we ain't got no pads on. Stop with this nonsense. The whole day we would be yelling at each other because we got 3-step drops. And I'm going to fake like I'm going low. And he'll slap the ball out of the quarterback hand. And everybody yelling at me.
Come on,
like it's walkthrough.
Hey, come on, you doing too much.
Leroy, I think
and you ask Robert if I'm lying. Every day.
The one thing about this
every day.
The one thing about this team that really bothered me the most on Sunday, it wasn't the misfits. It wasn't, all of the stuff that happened in the passing game and stuff like that. The one thing that got me the most was in the fourth quarter. I truly felt like they gave up. And that really broke my heart to see them just throw the chips in there. And that's crazy.
That's what that run game do to you.
No, I understand.
Cleveland did it to a bunch of teams.
I understand that, Leroy, but it's like, come on, man. Like you know how many people it is. I'm on the outside looking in. As a free agent, all these free agents that's out here busting their butt, like you go 100% for every play, as long as you can, because there's people out here that's dying to be in that situation, and for you to give up in the middle of a game like that, I ain't with that.
You see,
you
see Robert's face when you said that run game.
But we've talked about this, right? We say it's on the players, but it's on the coaches too, in the sense that you have to know how to motivate guys, and if the message is no longer, hey, do it for the old Browns, do it for your old coach. You better understand that this film. Every damn team in the league can see this. you got to understand, like, do you want to keep playing in the National Football League? And if that's what you need to pull out as a coach, that's why this week says so much, right? Like, how do you respond to that? Because things are going to go bad. No matter what, no matter if you play the game long enough, things are going to go bad. You're going to get embarrassed. You're going to do stupid things. Like, that's part of it, right? But how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that adversity? But more importantly, how do you respond when somebody challenges you? And say it like it is. Challenges your manhood. That's exactly what needs to happen. Like, do you want to man up and play this game or not? Period.
Can this coaching staff deliver that?
I don't know. We're going to find out, though, right?
I know a coach who could do it.
Name names.
G-Dub, Greg Williams. I swear.
Hey,
that cup of tea. Listen,
hey,
that cup of tea I had with the OTAs when he was the DC.
Talk that Greg Williams.
Man to have you run through a wall.
Now let me ask you guys.
Yeah, and he'll incentivize you with some money for some legal hits too, right?
He may or may have not said some money was on the line.
Robert and Ty, you guys just touched on something that I wanted to ask the seasoned vets. Okay.
Yeah.
Robert and Leroy, you guys played in a time where that was kind of the norm.
Put some change
And
on
if
your
you
head.
look at how the league has changed over, I'm just going to say since you guys left the game to today, practices have been reduced. Hitting has been reduced.
Okay.
The rules have been changed, all in the name of safety, but it's changed the product that we see on the field. Greg Williams used to be the norm. I'm told by guys that played in the day that this happened more than it didn't. These incentivized programs and now the coaches. We've seen the trend for coaches is Ivy Leaguers, not the old school. I played in the trenches for 15 years, John Madden's. Is this a product of the game shifting from the old gladiator to what we have today? Is the Browns the ultimate product of that shift?
Well, I can't say that the Browns by themselves are. I mean, when you sit with the coaches and you talk about, how you develop players, like it takes more. It's just different now. Look at offensive lines, and they talk about offensive linemen and just how difficult it is to develop those guys because they're coming from passing offenses, a lot of them in college. They're not doing the run blocking the same way that they were. But that's supposed to be the reason why more physical teams, and I know that we didn't see us last week with the Browns and some, I know there were some injuries on the offensive line, but why when teams kind of do that, when they kind of go to those heavier personnel and they get multiple linemen, they get the pullers around, that they're more successful. I think that it is partially, though, because the mentality has changed. The game just isn't what it was because players, they're not hitting the same way throughout the course of the week. But, I just don't understand it. Like, motivation, what's your motivation? I mean, you want to stay in this league. If and I'll you put it in terms of money if you don't want to just say about pride. Like, do you want to keep getting paid? You want to keep getting paid to do this, to play this game? Then you need to show up and play. And, defense is just different, man. Like, guys they need a different mentality. And, we talk about Johnny Randall. Johnny Randall is one of those guys. He's one of those light switch guys as far as off the field. You could tell he's an intense guy, but just, laughing, joking around. But when he was on that field, just, hey, man, I would if he was lined up against his mom, like, sorry, Mom, like, you're going to have to take a couple hits. Like, I got a job to do, right?
hey, and we ain't kidding, man. I'm telling you, that dude. But here's the other thing. I remember we used to. My roommate for away games was Harold Mora, and we would have the little night. We would have the little night meeting before we went to bed. Now, you very rarely had a conversation with Denny. He would always talk to your position coach to talk to you. And he would stand over on the side and watch practice. But if he got mad, right, you knew all hell was going to break out. Now, I will say this. When I got to Minnesota, I had to look for my pads on Friday to pack them. So we didn't practice full pads that much at all. okay? But then he would give that speech the night before the game. And, you know, as you get older, you kind of heard everything. But my roommate was young, and he go, we get in the room, and he say, dog, I'm going to tell you right now, no sudden moves. I might come over there and hit you. I'm like, whoa. I say, man, what we doing? He was so fired up the night before the game. And certain coaches just had that, right? Certain coaches just had. Then he did it without a whole lot of, like, team meetings. Like a whole lot of, you know, conversation. But you knew he meant business. And so you knew you had to go out there and do a job. Now, our offensive coordinator was a yeller. So there was that, too.
Did you guys have Mike Tice? Was that Mike Tice?
Mike Tice was the line coach.
Okay. And then you had, what's his name?
Brian Billick.
Baron Billick for the week. Got you.
Yeah.
And did you guys, and I'm going to ask you guys this question as a tandem. Have you ever seen, because, you know, OG, my man Brad, OG always talks about it. He's like, man, sometimes you got to have you a sacrificial lamb. They don't even, you come in one day and you come off the road, you and your boy, all of a sudden he get that call up to the office and then he come down with that Dear John letter and you then got demoted. Have y'all ever seen a situation where somebody like was a prominent player, wasn't given it, thought he was in there, and they made that decision to kind of wake some people up in the locker room? You ever see that? That happened where you was doing it?
See, but it just never had to happen with Denny, and Denny would say it all the time. Like, show up late to a meeting, he's like, "I won't fine you, but I'll cut your ass." You know what I mean? Like
that was
I mean, it was understood. But again, this kind of goes back to the composition of the locker room. We always had those guys in there. When I first got, you know, into the league, it was Henry Thomas, it was Chris Dolman, it was Johnny Randall, guys like that. You know, and then on the offensive side, you know, you had Chris Carter, you had Warren Moon, you know, you had all kinds of leaders, and like there's just a mindset. And so, you know, when you ask whether this coaching staff can do it, like, I'm not in that locker room. I don't know what's being said. All you can do is judge a team by what it does on the field. And, you know, to Ty's point, like if guys like are literally looking like they're giving up, you put that on film the next day, on Monday. And that's what you do. Like, we used to watch special teams film together. And, you know, because you understand it's so important. You want the whole team seeing and understanding what level of motivation and physicality it takes to play, right? Well, if you're pulling up that defensive film and you're watching those plays and you're watching guys loaf, you know, when you're out there and you feel like you're busting your ass and then somebody, you know, is just jogging, like if you're not in each other's faces and challenging each other, if you don't, again, you know, we said this, you know, a couple of weeks ago. Like, if you're not comfortable being uncomfortable, if you're not willing to listen to your teammates that are telling you that you need to step it up or step out, then, you know, I don't know what else you can do as a player.
It almost looks like it's a collection of both. The coaches aren't doing it, and it doesn't look like this team has the players internally to like the Chris Carter. If you don't know the tempo, watch me. I know the Browns had a key injury on defense, and Walker was that guy, but it doesn't look like internally there's a fire being lit by the players either. So that just compounds the problem. If there is a lack of that on the coaching side, there's no one there to crack the whip. There's no one there to make this team feel the sense of urgency that the fans feel.
You know what this has a feel of?
What's that?
I had this a lot in Cleveland. I used to play and run really hard. When I was having success, it energized the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because I was playing so hard. Nick Chubb is that guy. You ever notice when Nick Chubb is getting off, Kareem Hunt is getting off, it seems to energize the rest of the team.
It does. It does.
Right? And when they don't have
I bet you that's bull.
Thought,
I bet
Leroy.
you that's bull hopping on the line.
He's got no choice but to hold that thought. But
yeah, he is holding that thought.
You know, to Leroy's point, you look at the game last week, right? The run game's not going, and even Nick Chubb puts the ball on the ground. You're like, what the hell's going on?
I know,
right?
I know.
But it just takes somebody, player, coach, knowing what buttons to press.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to a coaching staff. Like, you have to know. Yeah, you can't treat everybody the same, but you have to be fair to everybody, right? You have to understand what guys need that kick in the ass. You need to understand what guys need to understand. Okay, well, inside of this structure, this is why you can't, you can't step with this foot, or you can't move inside on this play. You just have to be able to challenge guys, I think. And
within any group, there needs to be accountability.
Yes.
And there needs to be a work ethic and pride, and unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's there. Guys, we've got to move, but Leroy, I'm glad you came back on, because I wanted to say this before we left you guys. That was one of the more insightful conversations that we've had on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Your guys just kind of picking this whole thing apart, and just the whole thing. I was honored to be able to watch it. It was well done. So Robert and Leroy, thanks for your contributions, because that was.
Hey, Jay, one last quick statement about Denny and leadership. I don't know if you remember this one, Leroy, and I think you were with the team then, but the best night before speech that Denny ever gave is he just walked up in front, walked back and forth a couple times, and said, "All right, man, let's go." Didn't say a damn thing, because if you see what the Browns must have seen on film watching that game from last week, and you don't know what the hell needs to be done, then you're playing the wrong damn game, partner.
Yeah,
you're playing the wrong game.
It is. You sometimes a coach can walk in, look at everybody, and say, "My guys are ready." You don't need to say nothing. Get the hell out. Let's go get a good night's sleep. And it's happened. But you have to have that understanding of your team. And I think a lot of times these new coaches, they think they know the team, but they don't know the guys that they need to get going to get the team going. Right? So the guys you need to needle. For example, there was a story down here where Mike McDaniel went up to Tyreek Hill and said, they recorded their speeds. And he said, "Great job. You were number 5 today." To Tyreek Hill. What the hell you think happened the next 2 days?
Yeah, he was number 1 by a lot.
Right. But that's
how you push his buttons. Right. That's how you push his buttons.
That's how you do it.
And that's a skill set I don't know if you're learning at Harvard.
No.
Right. It's creative. Sometimes it's fun. We used to sit in the running back room and make fun of each other, and this is how we doing it. Hey, what you doing here? Right? What are you looking at? How you try? And we would do that, but you always knew that it was all for the common good, right? Nobody got offended. Right. Nobody got offended. Right? I remember one time I fumbled and my coach came over and yelled at me. And Chris Carter came over and looked at Carl and said, who the hell else you gonna put in? Robert Hurt. Right? And that was the end of that. I knew what the deal was.
Hold the damn ball.
But that was it.
Yep. Leroy, Robert, great job. We'll talk to you guys next week. Hopefully it's a round to win.
All right, fellas.
Hey,
okay,
guys. Tell you what. Hey, Tybus.
Oh, thanks for the win,
Robert,
Leroy. I appreciate it.
I ain't gonna be so damn nice next week.
That's fine. That's fine.
Y'all better be ready.
I think we are. We've been waiting the whole 365 days. We're good.
Okay.
Go Bucks.
Okay. All right.
Go
We'll
Bucks.
see.
08.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay.
That was good. That was really good stuff.
I think they're great together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
they
I like
are.
how to go back and forth, man.
Yep, it was awesome.
I told Earl we should have them cross over like that all the time. Except landing the plane is tough with them.
Yeah.
Tough to land the plane with that.
Yeah, but
so we're gonna bring Bull back in. We'll talk a little Cavs, play a little true and false.
Good.
And get through here. But Cavs big game tonight against the Bucks.
Cavs come in 4 in a row losers. Bucks come in 2 in a row losers. Donovan Mitchell practiced yesterday, so he's likely to play. That's the good news. He's listed as likely. It's possible that he doesn't. It's going to be probably a game time call, but they're saying right now that it's likely he'll play. Jarrett Allen is out
Yeah.
Dean Wade didn't practice yesterday. He's likely out.
That Jarrett Allen one is a big one.
Since you are the Giannis Antetokounmpo expert.
Listen, Giannis is one of those players that you can't really stop him. I think it'll be good for Evan Mobley to go up against a guy like him, though.
Because have his hands full.
Right, because I want to see – everybody thinks that Evan Mobley is going to be you even said that he's going to be the best player in the next 5 years on the Cavs. So it's this saying that if they'll bite as a pup, then they'll bite when they get older. So you need to put him up against some great guys like Giannis and see how he fares. I don't think he's going to turn down any smoke. I think he's going to be up for the challenge. But it is a lot because it's just him. I think it would be nice if Jarrett Allen was there to have somebody to defer to. But
if he ever needs it, it's tonight.
He's going to have to put his big boy pants on tonight for sure.
We're going to find out a lot about him.
Man, I was sitting back analyzing after I watched them play the Timberwolves the other day. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I was saying, you know what? We haven't talked about this enough. The most pivotal person I think that's going to be, pivotal for the Cavs to get to a point where they are a power in the East is they need J.B. Bickerstaff to be able to deploy his troops in a way that they can have repeatable performances, right? It doesn't seem like they don't have a recipe for winning. They just win, because, they get there, or Donovan has a great game, or Garland hits some shots, or, Jarrett Allen gets on the boards. When I watch teams in basketball, one of the teams, you like it or love it or hate it or love it, you watch Golden State. And when you watch Golden State, one thing that always dawns on me is this, that their guys never are caught off position. You never see guys like Looney being at the top of the key at the end of the shot clock. You never see the ball in somebody else's hands. You never see Wiggins taking these crazy Steph Curry shots. Everybody is where they're supposed to be. Everybody is playing in a way. Draymond Green, gets the ball, facilitates, he hands the ball off. He's not up there pounding the ball, looking at the shot clock. And I think for the Cavs to get to a place, they need to say, okay, this is where Evan Mobley is dangerous. This is where he gets the ball.
All of them have defined roles.
Defined roles. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, Karis LeVert, when you're in that second unit, you got about 7 dribbles.
Right.
7. This is what you do. 7. If you ain't got it. Kevin Love, to his point, I think he knows his role because he plays the same.
Catch and shoot.
Catch and shoot. He'll give you a pump fake, whatever. Jarrett Allen knows his role. He's rim running. I think the thing that you need to figure out is when you got 2 ball dominant guys, which area of the floor am I good at? What plays can I call to get somebody? And sometimes it can be as easy as JB just saying, all right, well, he can manage this from the bench. Like we say, well, they got to figure out. No, he can say, hey, call this play. Darius, get the ball. I'm gonna call 10 plays in a row for him because I think he's doing a good job. He could also say Donovan Mitchell. Donovan got it working. Let's see how I'm gonna call a play for him 5 times.
Yeah.
Or I think Evan, like a game against Giannis, and you don't have Jarrett Allen. One of the things the Big Nuggets talked about the other day was that you didn't have Allen, you didn't have Mitchell, and Evan Mobley took 4 shots.
Right.
JB has to be in his ear early.
More involved.
We need you offensively today. Yeah. Not just we need you to be aggressive, looking to score. And and don't count on the young player understanding the game or understanding the moment because he's 19, 20 years old.
Yeah. Bull, isn't that what these first, I don't know, maybe even first 40 games, the first half of the season, isn't that why that's so important to this group? Because they're trying to figure out what lane is theirs?
Yeah, I mean, I missed the very beginning of what G said, but the Cavs' goal is to someday be what the Warriors are, right? But the Warriors have been together forever.
Yep.
Even Andrew Wiggins has been there 3 years. All the other guys have been there at least. Looney's been there 5, 6, 7 years at this point. Doesn't seem like it, but he has. And obviously all the rest of their key players that you talk about, they've been playing together for so long that, of course, they're further afield. The Cavs have barely played together. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland haven't played together at all. I think what's happened is that we got so excited because they looked so good during that 8-game winning streak that maybe we're nitpicking too much, the struggles they've had here. They've had guys out of the lineup. guys, when we look back in April, May, June, hopefully, June might be a little optimistic, but when we look back in April and May, I don't think we're going to be thinking about a 4 or 5 or even 6-game losing streak in November playing any kind of role. The first half of the season, Jay, as you say, for me, is all about learning to play together, learning the roles that G talked about, where I'm supposed to be, when I should dribble, when I should shoot. And, you know, Karis LeVert, who you mentioned, he didn't play that much with these guys. He came in last year and he was hurt for a little while, so he's barely played. Obviously, Mitchell and none of these guys have played together for very long. Mobley was a rookie last year. So there's still, even for the guys that were here last year, there's still a lot to learn playing as this group together. And to expect it to be anywhere close to the Warriors, even by the end of this year, is unfair. You know, they weren't this team when they first started. It's going to take time. Clearly, the talent is there. Clearly, these guys like playing together. I think it's all positive. There's going to be times where they don't play well, which is what we're seeing right now. And it'd probably be a struggle tonight to not have Jarrett Allen and maybe not have Donovan Mitchell for the game. But man, I'm not worried long-term about this team at all.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to have a hard time winning tonight, certainly.
It is going to be an uphill climb. I mean, you're probably looking at a 5-game losing streak. The good thing is I know that it's tough for young guys to not look at the scoreboard and the wins and the losses piling up.
Yeah.
But it's too early in the season to start doing that and start paying attention to that. The mission of the first half of this season is to figure out how the ingredients mix together in the bowl.
Right.
Play in the right way.
And then start worrying about what it tastes like and what the product is the second half of the season.
I just think you want them to go out there and play as hard as they can, figure some things out, get better every game.
Right.
And have a shot in the fourth quarter. That's pretty.
And that's where they've been. I mean, all of these losses, they've been right there.
That's what I'm saying.
They've all been 3, 4, 1, 2 points, so they're close.
There hasn't been a point where it's like we should panic about anything. They're going to figure this thing out. It's just taking time.
You know, like you say, Jay, you're a pitcher, right? When you get a pitcher and you're working on his mechanics, you just want replicatable reps. You telling them, hey, look, we just want to fix this area, and your velocity might not be there.
Right.
The control might not
it's
be there.
Not necessarily about the results, but the process.
It's the reps, and I just want to see him play the right way. If Mobley takes a shot and he knows that's where they want him to take it at, I'm cool with that. Miss or make, that'll come later, or wins will come later. Right. I just want to see him play the right way.
What is impressive, the Celtics have kind of emerged now. It's at the Celtics and the Bucks, to me, are the class of the East. Mm-hmm. They're 11-3, and 2 of their losses
the
came
Celtics
to the Cavs.
11-3?
Quietly.
They're 11-3. They've won 8 in a row.
Wow.
They're
I
on
didn't know
a
that.
streak.
Wow.
And they're 2 of those 3 losses came to the Cavaliers. So it is a work in progress.
Yeah.
Some nights the product is going to look a little sloppy, but it's all about, did you learn something in that defeat? Okay, we lost this one, but you can't fall down 20 points in the first quarter.
Right.
You know, and dig yourself out of that hole. All right, we're going to do true or false next, right?
It is time for true and false. Before we do that, though, just want to remind everybody that we
Hold on, Bull had a point. Bull, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, let's go, because I'm the defending champ. That's it.
I know he is.
Bull is the defending champ, and just want to let everyone know we do offer membership tiers now for UCSS for some exclusive overtime content. $199 gets you some emojis and community-only members posts for $4.99, less than $60 a year. You get overtime content. We talked about Stephen Kwan yesterday. We're going to talk a little Terry Francona today. We're going to answer some personal questions. I found a picture of my first grade yearbook. We're going to see if you guys can find a young Mike Lucas at some point. So we got some cool stuff on overtime. Make sure you guys become members. We appreciate it. But now it is time for one of our favorite, maybe the people's favorite game show we do on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It's time for
Robin Lopez.
True and False.
Who is it?
Robin Lopez.
Let's get it.
Robin Lopez?
Let's get it going in the chat.
Listen, without Jarrett Allen, Robin Lopez is going to play a big role in tonight's game.
That's true.
He's going to have to play, so we figure what better time to let you guys know about the Cavs' third-string center than right now. Plus, he's an interesting character. You guys ready?
He got to check his brother at their trade line.
Question number 1. Robin Lopez was a lottery pick. True or false?
I actually don't.
Where's our music?
Well, I don't need that. That throw me off.
The music was great.
The music throws me off.
You didn't win last time, so you don't get to choose the music.
You wasn't
exactly.
here
I want the
last
music.
time, so you
Bull is the champ, and Bull wants the music.
I like the music.
Oh, so
it's
that's
great.
how we doing it.
Yep.
No.
The music adds a nice touch, Thomas, whether you like it
It's
or
like
not.
baseball. Doesn't the starting pitcher get to pick the clubhouse music?
That's exactly right.
Hey, I like this Foursquare, Steve. I might.
Yeah,
Hey, Steve, take
That
Foursquare.
is just nice.
It's not as easy. We got a 5 square too here. Bull, have you answered? Has everyone answered?
I have.
Bull says true.
Hold on.
Tyvis says true. Jay says false. And G. Bush says true. The answer is false.
His
Jay
brother was.
is out to an early lead. He was the 15th pick. His
Yeah.
brother was the 10th.
That's exactly right,
just
brother.
outside the lottery.
I thought he was. Well, lottery is top 11, right?
Top 14 is the lottery.
14, the non-playoff.
30.
Jay
non-playoff team.
Jay can't finish, so I'm not.
One. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Jay's in the early lead. Question number 2.
He's been there so many times.
Robin was born 1 minute after Brooke, making him the youngest of the 4 Lopez brothers. True or false? Also, there's some great Robin Lopez pictures on our USA Today image account. Thank you to whoever took
Hey,
them.
can I get that USA Day image count? I need it for the barbershop thumbnails.
G always
says
playing the
true.
angles.
Jay says false.
I hope it's true.
Bull says false, and Tyvis says true.
Say true.
The answer is true. We are
Yes!
back. Tied for first. G. Bush and Tyvis have come up to 1 win each. Bull starting out 0-2. The defending champ needs to climb out of a hole here. We've still got 6 questions left. Plenty of time. You guys ready?
Yep.
Question number 3. Robin's mother was once ranked 2nd in the world in the 400-meter individual medley and tried out for the 1968 U.S. Olympic swimming team. Am I crazy enough to make that up, or did I read that somewhere as a fact? Bull says true. Tyvis says true.
That's good.
Jay says false. G says false.
Russian bot.
And Tyvis, you're officially our leader, my friend. It is true. It is true. Bull, G, J tied for second.
Look at
Tyvis
that.
takes the 1-point lead.
Would you look at that, Jay? Wow, how does he do it? Let me stop.
people know how to
I
win
ain't gonna make
dignity
I ain't gonna
class.
get another one right now.
Question number 4. Robin Lopez has played for 33% of the teams in the NBA. Is that true or is that false?
No damn way he's played on 10 teams.
Look, we on.
False, false, false,
It
false.
has to be false, Mike.
It is false. He's played on 9. 9 different NBA teams,
let
not
him
10.
There's just no damn
By
way.
the way-
no blood, no foul on that one.
By the way, I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but how could it? Oh no, forget it. Disregard. It could have been 33%, but we still got it right.
That's a cartoon.
He was going to say there was 32 teams in the NBA. There's only 30, Bull. I know where your mind
And
is
he
going.
also has the
No,
cartoon.
that's what I was
of
thinking.
The
But I was thinking
mugger's
30.
beard.
Yeah.
He had.
He's got the mugger's beard.
Yeah, you like he like you,
Cartoon mugger's beard.
you like Dick Dastardly's cousin. You laugh like you just robbed a stagecoach. I got all of those bags.
So halfway through, Tyvis is in the lead with 3 correct answers. Everybody
Guy's
else
not laughing now.
has 2
he
correct
refuses
answers.
to laugh now.
Is this the first time all 4 of us have been within one answer at the halfway point? Feels
It
like
might-
it.
Probably.
It might be. It
I'm
might
about-
be.
I'm coming back.
Okay, question number 5. Robin Lopez has never averaged more than 12 points per game in any level of his basketball career, high school, college, or NBA. True or false?
That's gotta be false.
I'm thinking, man, can I high
I
school?
mean, he was at Stanford forever. I mean, high school, you 7 foot, you can't get 12. But he did. But he did play with his brother, and
he
he
did
take a
play
lot of
with his
shots.
brother. Yeah.
Jeez.
Got him in a pretzel.
Hold on. I don't know now.
Well, hold your answer. Hold your answer.
Sorry.
You know what? What the heck?
I jumped the gun on that one.
All right,
Tyvus takes too long to make his answer.
Tyvus says false. G says false. Bull says true. Jay says false. And we now have a tie for first place. Bull has moved into a tie with Tyvus for first place. He averaged 11.7 twice in his career. Never averaged more than 12. In high school, he only averaged 10.2 points per game.
That's a shame.
His brother Brooke averaged 28.5.
Jimmy,
It is what it is.
He's been, listen,
That's why he's played on 9 teams. Everybody keeps saying, how can this guy not average 4 points a game?
Hey, Bull.
Trade him.
Hey, Bull, you need to call him out like Jeff Saturday for not being qualified and jumping in line in the NBA. This guy been stealing money for weeks. 11 points in high school?
He was G. Bush. He was a McDonald's All-American. He averaged 10.2 points and 10.7 rebounds.
I averaged 12, 13 points in high school. Give me them bucks.
And even I averaged 11 points in high school.
Bull averaged 16.
Playing in the schoolyard, yeah.
Did you hoop in high school?
I averaged 30.
And
he
20
didn't.
rebounds.
No
And
chance.
20 rebounds.
He also shot 94% from
10 assists. I'm 100%.
I heard he averaged
100%
double-digit
Never
block
missed.
shots, too.
I took 1 3 in a game and made it and never
They
shot
called him
another
Oscar
one.
at Bedford. He's averaged a triple-double for his entire life.
I shot 1 3 in a game, made it, and never shot another one. 100% from the trade line. Check that out. Hello.
Bull and Tyvus tied with 3 correct answers. G and J with 2. Question number 6.
Number 6.
True or false? Robin Lopez's favorite TV show is The Simpsons. Bull, hold your answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
G. Bush is ready. G. Bush says false. Tyvus says false. Jay says true. Bull says true. So we're going to have a new leader one way or another. Let's see who it is. And it's the remote man.
Let's go.
The remote man, Bull, back in first place.
It ain't you.
Jay is tied with Tyvus, and G. Bush has fallen into a solo slot in last place.
This is sad. That Jay
All right, I
is
got
in
a 1-game lead with what,
me.
2 to go?
2 to go. Bull's up by 1. That is correct.
A lot of pressure. Lot of
Number
pressure.
7.
I knew it was
Let's
true,
see it.
too.
Robin says he regrets not participating in theater productions and plays, during his time at Stanford. Does he really regret it or not?
He should.
Man, I'm going.
It sounds like something he would say. He 100% said that shit.
I want to change my answer, but I feel like you got to stick with your first reaction. So I'm not
You
going to
do.
change.
Gutso is right. Jay's ready. G's ready. G says false. Bull says true. Tyvus says false. Jay says true. The answer is false.
Yes!
It is false.
Get out of here, Jay!
Which means Tyvus and Bull
I
are
can still tie
tied.
it. I can still tie it up.
You did
They are
last
tied
time.
heading into the final question.
Nobody
Aren't G and
likes-
J tied 1 back?
Yes.
G and J are tied 1 back, correct.
So
So
this-
So anybody could still win.
It's
anybody can still win.
down the stretch they come, baby.
Nobody,
The whole
nobody
time
likes
I
Jay
wrote
out
true
of here,
quickly,
man.
and then I was like, no, it's false, no, it's false, no, it's false, and I didn't switch.
This is for the marbles. All the marbles.
I just gotta get it right. That's all that matters.
Let's see it, Steve. True or false? Robin has made 53 three-pointers in his NBA career. I can see the wheels turning in all 3 of our panelists' minds. Bull, I can't tell your mind from back here.
This is sad because it's probably right, man. It's true. Why did you come up with 53?
Or did I come up with 53 because it's so obscure you think it's true, but it's really false?
I get a 2-point bonus system for integrity. I just went faster than everybody else. This is a rocket
G
mortgage
says
check.
false. Tyvus says false. What does Bull say?
I can't.
False.
False. All 4 say false.
What is it?
Let's see the
Tyvus
answer.
and I will still be tied.
All 4 you won.
I said true, I would have won it.
It is true, which means we're going to go to tiebreaker. We have Dave Richard joining us. We're going to come up with a tiebreaker to answer after Dave Richard.
I knew
So
it.
it's you and
Bull again. I blew it. I knew it was true. I literally said it. I don't know why I didn't just switch it. Like, what was I thinking?
Tyvis said it out loud, but it is true.
I just said, there's a lot of other numbers that it could be.
Tyvis, what's wrong with you?
Dave, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us as always. How would you have done on Robin Lopez, true and false?
I got most of them right, so I think I would have beaten the whole crew, swept the board, as I'm known to do in games of strategy, not chance.
Dave, we need to see the receipts. I need receipts next time, Dave. We're just not going to take
I'll
no
bring
L.
my whiteboard and put true and false on there. And, the nice advantage for me is that I don't have to give you my answers until I come on the air. I get to watch you guys cackle and sweat it out and all that stuff. You're right about that cartoon laugh for Tyvis, by the way.
I told you.
He's got to get into that line of work, I think.
Yo, look, I told you, man.
Y'all hilarious,
He's
man.
got the criminal beard, the criminal cartoon beard. You know how they always have that perfect dark shadow
And
beard?
they always
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out who his sidekick would be, because every villain's got like a homely sidekick, and I don't know who Tyvis is hanging out with.
Listen, Dave, what you talking about is irrelevant. We need to talk about my fantasy team.
Your fantasy team's a mess, Tyvis.
Yeah, it's trash.
I got.
What place are you in, Ty?
He'll be in last after this week when I
I'm
smoke him.
climbing back up the ranks. That win over Leroy last week was everything. Just like we're gonna win next week. It was. But anyways,
let me get the standings. Let me give the standings.
Wait
a second.
We have a graphic. Hold on. We have a graphic.
No, we don't need the graphic.
Yes, we do, Ty.
Here we go.
I'm not in last.
You can't be great at everything.
While Steve finds the graphic, this whole segment today is brought to us by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Whitcliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and signing bonuses. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. We got a couple internet questions already. We'll get to those at the end.
Wait a minute.
Dave.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, of course, Tyvis.
Dave, for a flex, Cordell Patterson, Kadarius Toney, or Gabe Davis?
I like all those guys.
Me too.
Do we know if it's full PPR, Tyvis, or do catches not count?
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Gabe Davis is going against the Browns, so I'd go with Gabe Davis.
But they're going to run the ball.
It's really. I think Tony's third on
everybody
that list.
gets the ball against the Browns.
Yeah, and I think Davis.
So go with Gabe Davis.
I think I
over
like
Cordell?
Davis the best in full PPR.
But Dave, there could be weather in Buffalo. There could be weather in Buffalo.
That's true. So one of my bad habits is not to check weather until an hour before kickoff.
Right.
Because
yeah.
if I look at it now, the forecast might say that it's going to be 6 feet of snow. And by the time Sunday comes around, it's just cold. We don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
I don't like to look at forecasts until like an hour or so before kickoff.
That's
but
fair.
that is something to keep in mind. I studied Cordell Patterson and the Falcons already today, actually. I think they're going to run it up on Chicago. I think they're going to try and get that ground game going again. So Patterson's a good start. I would have taken him if it were truly non-PPR. He's just not getting enough snaps and enough work to really be a reliable must-start type of fantasy running back.
So you say Gabe Davis.
Yeah, too much upside.
All right, and last one, Tyler Conklin or Isaiah Likely?
Tyvis, is this
your
a
tight
fantasy
end.
segment for the fans or for you only?
Both.
Yeah, it's hard to help the fans when you're asking me questions with two really bad tight ends. It sounds like Mark Andrews is going to be back for the Ravens. That'll really limit what Isaiah Likely can do. I guess you should go with Conklin. But there's a lot of tight ends on the waiver wire that I like. Maybe you can still find Tyler Higbee, Dawson Knox, Cole Kmet would be the prize, but he's got to be rostered in your in any league with Bull in it. Cole Kmet, somebody like that's long gone. Hayden Hurst would be an option that I would consider over those guys. Maybe even Austin Hooper as well. Oh, one more, and this guy's out there in a lot of leagues. Jawan Johnson with the Saints. I'd start Jawan Johnson over those two.
Yeah, let me just tell you, just stay away from Austin Hooper.
We got 4 internet questions.
Yeah, you guys know better than
came out
anybody.
hot.
Man, is he a pig?
Do you have the standings, though, Mike?
Yeah, we'll take the standings full real quick. I'm in last place. It is what it is. I'm going to beat Tyvis this week, get out of last place. And that's the standings right now. It's a lot of mediocre teams in the middle.
Confusing. The bottom line is G is 7-3, and then me, Jason, Brad, and Earl are all 6-4. Everybody else is under 500.
We cooking.
Very mediocre league.
You know how we cooking.
I didn't know.
I can't believe Brad's 6-4. He had the worst draft I've ever seen in my life. It's remarkable.
It is
that he's
remarkable.
6-4.
He has Justin Fields, though, and that's one of our questions real quick, Dave. We got 4 run through. This is from Derek Parslow. No, this is from Brownstown 92. Nope. Where's the one from? Oh, here it is. This is from Joseph Roscoe. I want to make sure I get the right name.
Sure,
with
it's
the
from
question.
Joseph because this is big.
Oh, my God.
Please ask if I should start Fiery Fields or Joe Burrow this week.
I can't believe
Joseph.
Mikey is so disorganized and his team's 3-7 in fantasy. I think you got to go with Fields. You've got to ride that hot hand. And by the way, the matchup for the Bengals, not a good one. The Steelers' defense really came alive last week with T.J. Watt back. Remember what they did to Joe Burrow in Week 1, and he won't have Jamar Chase this week. I think Fields is the play.
He's been
For
hot.
the record, I would have beat Earl this week, but I lost Jerry Jeudy and Juju in the first quarter. I lost by 3 points.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Lost 2 receivers. Okay, next question. This is from Mac
You
and
beat me
Stackin.
1 week, Mike, because I had a ton of injuries, so nobody wants to hear
This is from
it.
Mac and Stackin. Bull, you're on double remote. We should just cut your mic. It's from Mac and Stackin. He wants to know if Jonathan Taylor can repeat his performance from last Sunday.
Well, is he playing the Raiders again? Because, I mean, that's usually a helpful thing. No, he's not playing the Raiders again. I think he's still going to be a must-start type of fantasy running back and someone who's close to a top 10 option. Can he get over 150 yards and a touchdown? I think that's a little bit of a stretch. The Colts got that 1 week bump from getting a breath of fresh air at head coach, and now we'll see what they really are made of this week. I'm trusting Jonathan Taylor. I'm just not trusting him to have as big of a game.
This from Brownstown 92. Is playing Josh Allen smart this week, knowing the weather could be crazy?
Again, we can look at the weather forecast an hour before kickoff. And here are the things that you want to look for when it comes to a quarterback in the weather. Number 1 is the wind. If the wind is crazy, we're talking like 15, 20, 25 miles an hour, that's going to impact the trajectory of throws. That means that deeper throws could get caught in the wind, ball could land anywhere. Also, if it's coming down heavy with the snow, that impacts a quarterback's visibility, won't be able to see as well down the field. So if those 2 factors are really high, then I would probably, I'd be nervous to start Josh Allen. I'd probably still do it because he's Superman, but I wouldn't expect him to be a top 3 type of fantasy quarterback.
And he is playing the Browns.
And running touchdowns get more points than quarterbacks. Last question from the chat so far. Derek Parslow, Deonta Foreman versus Baltimore or Michael Carter versus New England?
I'm going to go with Foreman, but it's close between those 2. I really think this Ravens defense is coming on strong. Might end up being one of the best defenses in the league if they can stay healthy. They're getting help at pass rush. They've been good against the run. I think that they can actually slow down Carolina, force them to be one-dimensional. That takes the ball out of Foreman's hands.
And I lied. We got one more just in. Spencer Dyke says, should I sit DeAndre Swift for anyone who might have a full workload?
You probably should because he's used near the goal line, so he's always got a chance to score, and that's 6 points, and that's great. But if he's not going to catch a lot of passes, he's not going to get a lot of carries, it's hard to imagine him supplementing that touchdown with 50, 60, 70 yards. Here's the other thing, and people don't recognize this. When you think about the Lions' run game, it's Jamal Williams, we talk about him. It's DeAndre Swift, we talk about him. Justin Jackson played almost 30% of the snaps last week for Detroit. A true 3-headed monster, and he played the most 3rd and 4th down snaps for the Lions. They're using 3 guys in that backfield. It's kind of a mess.
Dave, I got one. Well, actually, it's a 2-part question. The first question: what the heck are we doing if you got Cooper Kupp? Like he's
okay.
So he's on
screwed.
IR, is there anybody out there on the waiver wire that looks decent that you can like? Is Chase Claypool playable? Or Deontay Johnson, are those guys playable with Cooper Kupp gone? Or should I just stab myself in the stomach and go lay in the shallow grave?
I mean, the first thing you do is you put your hands together like this, and you go, dear fantasy gods, please find a way to help me replace Cooper Kupp. Do you really think there's anybody on the waiver wire that's going to do what Cooper Kupp has done for the past year and a half? It's not going to happen.
What about grabbing Odell
Your team's
Beckham?
in trouble. Your team's in trouble. But if you want some wide receivers that are out there in some leagues, Paris Campbell is the number 1 name that I can give you that isn't obvious, okay? Like, obviously, Christian Watson, Kadarius Toney, but those guys are already rostered in a lot of leagues after yesterday's waiver run. But Paris Campbell
is available in our league.
Wow, make a beeline for him. Let's see who's fastest to get him. In his last 3 games with Matt Ryan, at least 18 PPR points in each one. Wow. Target hog, the kind of guy that you want to have on your team. Not necessarily a dominant type of receiver, but someone that can give you some fantasy points. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones also qualifies. He's the number 2 receiver for the Browns. And in terms of efficiency, he's kind of been neck and neck with Amari Cooper this year. The only difference is he's not getting touchdowns. Cooper is. He's somebody that can get you around 15 points per game.
Jerks. He's a jerk.
Did someone just grab him before you?
Tyvus just grabbed him.
Tyvus, you didn't do that.
Go Bucks.
What a villain.
It's my Buckeye brother. What do you mean?
This is crazy.
My Buckeye brother? I can't get a Buckeye on my team. My team is rough. Go Bucks.
That violates man law, bro.
That was dirty.
It's a dirty game out here. Listen.
Wow.
It's a dog eat dog.
Hey, listen. We about to get CD. I don't understand.
Well, what about OBJ?
Guess who team he on?
You have him too? You already grabbed him?
Dave,
you can stash him if you want.
Let me tell you the wide receivers available.
I had him a week ago.
Let me tell you the wide receivers available so you can help G, and I won't pick any of them up. Here's the best guys.
Yeah, but
Van Jefferson, Matt Collins, Jarvis Landry, Dotson from Washington, Hamler, Corey Davis.
Yeah, you should have picked
Not
up Paris
much.
Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal out there. The names that you gave, I'm intrigued by Van Jefferson. He should see an uptick in targets with Cooper Kupp gone, but that offense is really starting to. They're circling the drain in LA. They're not going to be particularly good.
I'm in 6th place.
I got about 10 leagues, so this is the last one. I got Donovan Peoples-Jones, Brandon Cooks, or Drake London. Who should I start?
I would go with Peoples-Jones. Even against the only way I would get away from that is if the weather's really terrible. But he should be able to come through for another 1 or 2 big catches. He's done that a lot lately. Certainly more target volume. You got to figure the Browns are going to be playing from behind against Buffalo. Maybe he wins a couple of those 50-50 balls down the sideline.
Oh, I got one for you.
No, we got to go because
oh my God.
We got a hard 1 o'clock out today. Dang. So Dave Richard, Waiver Wire Wednesday, great stuff.
I'll tweet him.
Tyvus is a snake.
I told you he got that.
Big villain. Thanks, Dave.
Because that's a great call. I lost my fantasy game Sunday by half a point because Campbell went off.
See, man. You see.
All right, so we got 9 minutes for final takes and the final tiebreaker question of true and false. G. Bush, Tyvus, you ready to determine a winner?
No. G. Bush.
Bull, excuse me. Bull, you ready to determine a winner?
Yeah.
True or false? The longest tenured stay of Lopez's career was with the Chicago Bulls. True or false?
Oh, I know that one. Damn.
What's the answer?
Can I get back in it?
For a second.
Hold on, I ain't ready.
Yeah, Bull, don't give away your answer yet.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Bull, true or false?
I say false. False.
Yeah, false.
Tyvus, you say?
False.
And you guys are both
need
wrong.
another tiebreaker.
The answer is true. All right, the next tiebreaker question comes from Steve Becker. Tiebreaker number true.
Yeah. Number
True
2.
or false?
Oh, listen, he just gave it away.
What?
Go ahead.
So next tiebreaker comes from Steve Becker.
Yeah.
Robin Lopez has more than 150,000 followers on Twitter.
I'm ready. I say true.
I'll say true.
All right, we'll start final takes. We need a third tiebreaker.
See, you gave it away because you said tiebreaker number true.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Man, that's crazy.
What's funny is Steve actually sent it, and he sent it and said false, even though his answer was true. So Steve said false, but the answer was true. All right, Bull, we got hard 1 o'clock out today. You start final takes. You got to keep them quick.
All right, yesterday was the day. I tweeted yesterday that don't be surprised if you see the Guardians make a move, because yesterday was the day that you had to put some young players on the 40-man roster, protect them from the Rule 5 draft. Guardians did that, and they made a couple of small trades. I don't know if anybody even noticed, but one of the trades they made yesterday was they traded a guy who 2 years ago was their number 1 prospect, and that's Nolan Jones. We saw him in the big leagues for a cup of coffee last year for the first time. They traded him for minor league infielder Jorge Brito of the Rockies, who did make the 40-man roster. Now, a lot of people were angry because, as I said 2 years ago, a lot of people considered Nolan Jones the Guardians' best prospect. He's no longer their top prospect. Clearly, they don't think they have a future for him in Cleveland. And even though I thought he was going to be a good player, and he still may turn out to be, I feel like with deals like this, I'm always going to give this front office the benefit of the doubt. We'll see what happens. There was a big trade today in baseball. We could see the Guardians make a big move at any time. I expect them to be much more active than they've been.
Okay, we got the next final tiebreaker. You ready?
Okay.
True or false? Robin Lopez has started 28 career postseason games.
By the way, in the past we did tiebreakers were not true and false, so it'd be easier to break the tie.
So there's only one.
Well, we'll do that next.
All right, what is this? Robin Lopez has started
28 playoff games.
This is absurd. Whatever Bull says, I'm going. Can I just go opposite, just so we can get over it?
It's do or die here, Bull. What do you say?
This is like college overtime.
False. I'm gonna say true.
And Tyvis, you have regained the belt.
Unbelievable.
It took a triple tiebreaker.
Tyvis is good at guessing.
Like
Tyvis is good at luck.
He's just like, man.
This is the 6th ring.
You're Tom Brady. Brady has 7.
You see how Michael Jordan feels,
That's Michael
man.
Jordan.
You know how you feel when you just dominant, you know? Like it is what it is. Like you put in a lot of time and sacrifice.
Congratulations, you're good at guessing.
And I can't be beat.
He's good at guessing. He's the king, but it is Earl's birthday today. And in honor of Earl's birthday, he has a final take he wants to do. So
Awesome.
shout out
Earl.
Come on, Earl.
Earl the Pearl.
Get that final take in. Happy birthday to Earl.
Appreciate that. All right, so I turned 35 today, and 35 is a blessing. I told my boys before we got in, man, the number 17. Unfortunately, I got 17 friends in the grave that didn't see their 35th birthday. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I seen a lot of violence. I seen a lot of drugs being sold, being used, and I seen a lot of people that was inside the box. A lot of people who didn't believe that they can live their dreams, that they can do anything outside of the 5 or 10 mile radius of the neighborhood that they grew up in. And I'm here to tell you, as a living example, you can do anything that you put your mind to. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter what obstacles you face, no matter the hand that you're dealt. If you truly commit yourself to hard work, if you build solid relationships with solid people, gotta see to it that you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. I tell people 2 things every single day. Be great and spread love. Spreading love is all of our earthly assignment. And being great, it comes with a price that you just can't pay 24/7. Sometimes it's $8.25. So to anybody out there who feels like because of their situation, because of their circumstances, or because of whatever obstacles that they face, that they can't live out their dream, I'm a living witness. You can do whatever the hell you put your mind to. That's it.
It's my favorite. That's my favorite final take of all.
Well, yes,
Earl,
sir.
that is awesome, brother.
Solid.
That is awesome. Life is about choices. We make a lot of them every day. Just make more right choices than wrong. That was powerful.
In the great words of Usher, situations will arise. You just have to be smart about them.
And, you know, there's another one. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Nope. All I know is that I'm the people's champ today. The people's champ, you know? We're going to get G-Boy. Because I done won it 6 times. Like, it's got to be a way we can change
Retire
this.
the belt? Do you retire it after 6?
Man, I see why Tom said, you know what, I'm done with this. It's too easy.
Man, you know.
He's a good winner, isn't he?
It's too easy, man.
The people's champ is not only about the belt. It's about the unwritten.
Wish I was wearing Jordans today, man. I messed it up.
What's always already known don't have to be said.
You guys are just killing me. Earl, happy birthday, brother.
I'm making a prediction. Jay's winning next week.
No, he's not.
Jay's going to win next
Jay
week.
will never win again. We'll go through every. We'll go through the Cavs.
Dude, if I have to
the
stay
Guardians,
up all night, every night,
and we go to the
and
Guardians,
study every player on every Cleveland team.
And we start doing Guardians, he might win.
Well, maybe we'll do a Guardians next week.
We're not going to cater to him. Y'all didn't cater to me. Get it out the mud, Jay.
Tomorrow, new segment alert, by the way.
I hate you.
I hate you.
And you're a snake.
I hate
Picking
you.
up Paris Campbell, that's a low blow, bro.
I can't pick up my former team.
I hate you, Jody.
He needs a wide receiver. He asked the
do
question.
too.
You jumped in and took him.
I need receivers too.
We need a new segment called Tiebreaker.
That's funny.
And it's just for him.
Just for Tyvis.
All right, we're done. We're taking a 22-hour break. We're back tomorrow.
Overtime content coming up next, though.
Overtime content for subscribers only. If you're not members only. If you're not a member, join a damn club. It's like 30 cents a day. It's nothing, guys.